What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? How's everybody holding up? Yeah, like I'm like looking at myself to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I feel like I should close those blinds back there because it's like super bright. Hold on one second. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. And then turn the lamp on. Okay. The echo is real? There should definitely not be... Is there an echo? My stream is muted. Like my stream is muted. My stream is muted. Hold on a second. You're hearing two Robs? Okay, hold on. All right, let me know if that's better. Because I had my stream turned off unless... It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. Ignore it. You guys, it's always been there. It's always been there. Like, ever since I first started Comics Explained, I've never been able to start a stream without it causing problems. So, fixed. Awesome. Cool. Okay, let's turn that light down, because it looks like Jesus is standing back there. Let's turn this light down here. There we go. Maybe turn it up a little smidge. Okay. Is the stream in 720p? Surely the stream's not at 720p. It is a 720p. All right. Give me one second, guys. Give me like 1 second. Okay. Good Lord. Good Lord. Like, it's always struggle problems. Always struggle problems. Always struggle problems. And I need to turn on slow mode here. Actually, you know what? I kind of like it going super fast. I kind of like the stream going a bit bonkers. I kind of like that. But yeah. So yeah, you shouldn't hear the echo anymore. Everything should be okay. So, but the stream should also be should be 1080p. No, 720p is not okay. Now here's a cool thing. When we get back to Colorado, and this is going to be crazy, when we get back to Colorado, my streams are going to be insane because our neighborhood has 10 gig internet. I'm going to be streaming at like 4K, like crisp, clean 4K. I mean, like sharp, man, that just crispy, razor sharp 4K. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, guys, okay, so WandaVision. WandaVision episode 4 was absolutely or episode 5, it was absolutely insane. The title has spoilers, right? So if you're in this chat, don't get pissed off that we go over spoilers. That's your fault, not mine, because you didn't have sense enough to read the title. So, let's see. It's really nice that Marvel used the 80s Quicksilver as well. Yeah, 10 gig. Like, you have 1 gig fiber optic internet, we have 10 gig. And it's 10 gig up and 10 gig down. It's linear. Like, it's nuts. Oh, Nathan, where are you at in Colorado? Are you in, like, Longmont? Because I know Longmont has fiber optic internet. But, mic blockage. I guess I could lower my mic a little bit. There we go. And, like, block my face with my microphone. I mean, at the end of the day, though, all you guys really care about is my voice. You don't care about my face. You don't. Not fooling me. But yeah, we should hang out. Yeah, when I get back into town, that's definitely a thing. Yeah, no, Vision is not alive. Vision is definitely not alive. Um, he's definitely dead. Like we know that. Like we definitely know that. The morning voice, everything the light touches is our kingdom, Simba. You're breathtaking. um, yeah, I finally got a haircut and everything recently. I need to work on these. I got these pock marks and crap all over my face. I need to fix that. But yeah. So how many of you guys have seen episode 5 of WandaVision? I'm assuming you have because you're here. But how many of you guys have seen episode number 5? It's kind of bonkers. It's kind of bonkers. Episode number 5 was pretty crazy. Yeah, she was definitely pissed at Captain Marvel. Like it was one of those things that I kind of observed. Okay, so there's a few things that I've noticed about Agnes, right? A few things that I've noticed about Agnes. Did you guys notice that in this she left the town? Did you guys notice that in this episode of WandaVision that the only thing that surprised Agnes about what Wanda could do was potentially resurrecting the dead? She was not surprised about anything else. She was not surprised about anything else. But yeah, Quicksilver, man. Evan Peters. So you know what? For this Q&A, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to change things up a little bit. Here's my question for you guys. This is a serious question. This is an important question. Do you guys think that Marvel is using Evan Peters, like he's the first X-Man to be introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Or do you think it's just kind of like a hand-wavy thing and he's not going to be on the show for very long? What do you guys think? Agnes was scared of Wanda in that instance, yeah. She was pretty freaked out by Wanda in that instance. Yeah, give me Blue Marvel in the MCU, man. Like, I really want to see Blue Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You think Chthon's possessing Wanda at times? Maybe. Like, maybe. But, okay, so in order to make this answer easier, because everybody's typing, in order to make this easier, if you think that Evan Peters is Marvel introducing the X-Men into the MCU, type in MCU. If you think that them showing Evan Peters on WandaVision is just kind of a hand-wavy thing, type Fox. That way it's easier to tell. So MCU if you think he's here to stay, Fox if you think he's only going to appear for a short time. So let's see. They did a Astro Engineer. Yeah, okay. So I think MCU. Everybody's saying MCU. Like, there's like 3 people who said Fox. Everybody's just like, MCU. Everybody's saying MCU. God, I love talking to you guys on live streams. It's so fun. I miss doing these live streams, but it's so fun talking to you guys. It's always super enjoyable. You guys are always a hoot talking to you all on live streams. It's always a blast because I always wonder what you guys are doing. Okay, here's my question. What are you guys doing right now? You guys at work? You guys at home? What are you guys doing right now? Because I'm always curious what you guys are doing when you guys are watching my live streams, right? You taking a break from work? Did you just get home? You think Agnes is possessed by Nightmare or Mephisto? Really? I think she's just a legitimate witch. I think she's just like a straight legitimate witch. I think that's really all she is. Watching live at 5:30 in the morning. You're in a lecture. Mafia Man Vito is in a lecture. You're at work, working at home, still at work. Dinner time. Playing Call of Duty. I haven't played that game in a long time. School, home in the UK. It's 9:30, and yes, right. You guys are 5 hours ahead. You're buying Bitcoin. Just picked up your kids. Yeah, that's wild. So, but yeah, like I don't think Agnes is possessed by Nightmare or Mephisto. I think Agnes is just Agnes. Like, I think she lived in Westview, and she's all just kind of being caught up with it. If you guys do want to know my theories and stuff, though, you can check them out on Pop Culture Explained, where I have all my WandaVision theories and everything. I mean, don't leave right now, but like they're all on Pop Culture Explained. We just released one maybe 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, something like that. So there was one that just came out. What if there is someone else who needed Wanda off topic from Vision argument, so he or she brings in Quicksilver, but couldn't bring Pietro from the dead, so bring one from another reality? Um, I mean, that's the thing. Like my thought was, it was basically just Wanda. I don't know. I mean, there's no real concrete explanation you can give for why Eric Peters Quicksilver from Fox is in WandaVision now. Like, there's no concrete explanation you can give for that. Um, yeah, there's no quick explanation that you can offer for that. I mean, I don't know. Monica does have her powers. Did you guys catch on to that? Monica Rambeau has her powers. She got her abilities. Honestly, I think she got her abilities because it was a combination of her being touched by the power of Wanda and being thrown through the force field. I think that's how she got her powers. But she's basically Spectrum now, which is cool. Um, Evan Peters. Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying Eric Peters. Evan Peters. Yeah. Um, People are just like, it's actually Evan Peters, Rob. But yeah, is Monica going to show her powers? I don't know, because I don't even think she knows she has them. We might find out that she has them, but I don't even think that she knows that she has them. So yes, this is a fake live stream. I am using my time travel capabilities, and I am answering questions that I know people are going to ask in 3 hours. My superpower. Your superpower is obviously not common sense. How does she get the powers? Explain. Okay. Yeah, she got powers. Okay, so the way that you know Monica got powers is when they did an X-ray of her, all that came back was just a light source. That's all that came back was just a light source. So she's basically like living light at this point. That's all she is just living light. That's amazing. But yeah, she's just living light. That's really all it is. So yeah, she definitely got her powers. So everybody's laughing at that guy. That guy tried to troll me. I troll him back, and everybody's laughing at him now. I always wonder, what's it like for a troll? Like when you try to troll, you get made fun of, and like everybody that you were trying to get to laugh along with you starts laughing at you. Like at that point, what's the point of your life? Like you can't even get people to laugh at your joke. What's the point of living? If you can't troll right, can you do anything right? Like that's painful. That's just painful. But you probably find a book at Barnes and Noble about how to troll. You know, I'm sure some YouTube channel will show you somewhere. I'm sure it looked easier when you were watching it on YouTube. But yeah, no, she's basically living light. So what am I vaping on? I am vaping on Marketplace e-liquid, which is actually my favorite. So, but yeah, let's see. How does she recognize that Evan Peters Quicksilver? She couldn't recognize him as her brother, right? See, that's the question. That's the question, right? Because it's not like he looks close to her brother. Like you would think, and this is just me talking, right? If my sister died, like you guys have seen my sister, you guys have seen Libby. Like if my sister died, then my thought would be, okay, not even if I created my own reality, but like if somebody popped up, I would recognize if she was my sister or not. And I feel like Wanda would look at that and be like, you're not Quicksilver, right? And that would be it. Like that would be it. And so it's a little weird to me. But see, that's the thing. There's a lot of, I mean, okay, just because he has white hair does not matter, right? I mean, I could walk down the street and pay any swinging dick to dye their hair white and then just be like, here you go, Wanda, here's Quicksilver, you know. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work that way. So, okay, she was manipulated. That's my thought. That she's not actually seeing him the way he looks, right? Either that, or we're just kind of expected to believe that he's just the new Quicksilver, and that's it, right? Like the idea, like Darcy's statement, like she recast Quicksilver. They're just kind of like, yeah, I mean, she recast Quicksilver, and expecting us as comic book fans just kind of roll with it, like as fans who are just like, I mean, like expecting us to adopt the mentality. We don't really care how they get the X-Men in the MCU as long as they're there, right? It could be literally Deadpool just comes floating in with a giant balloon and just drops them all off and then leaves, and we would just be like, cool, and they're here now, and that'd be it. That'd be the only thing that matters. Right? I mean, here's my question. Here's my question. Would you guys? Yeah, I think it's Billy and Tommy doing it. Would you guys want to see Deadpool float in a giant zeppelin, like a giant like hot air balloon, drop the X-Men off and leave? And that's how they're introduced into the MCU. Would you think, like, would you accept that? Would you be like, I'm okay with that, and then just enjoy the movie? Like, would you accept that? It's like, yes. People are saying yes. Why are you saying yes? Why are you saying yes to that? People are saying that sounds amazing. I mean, just ride into the sunset. Why? I mean, that's the thing. That's what's so crazy about Deadpool, man. Is like he could do almost anything, right? Like literally, he just pulls up in like some old horse-drawn carriage from Little House on the Prairie and just dumps out the cast of X-Men First Class, and it's like, here you go, guys. At least here you're gonna stand a chance to make a good movie, and then just rides off into the sunset. And like all of us in the theaters would be like, awesome, the X-Men are here now. And then we would just go forward and watch the movie. It'd be pretty amazing. It'd be pretty amazing. He should give birth to Professor X. Don't question it. A Mickey Mouse hot air balloon. That would be hilarious. Like, that would be amazing. How did Wanda create her children? I think she created her children by just creating them out of nothing. Like, she just literally fabricated them out of nothing. She just impregnated herself. And that's it. Right, she was just suddenly pregnant with kids. And that's all there is. I think the reason why they're aging up so fast is because subconsciously she knows it's only a matter of time before all this ends. Like, it's only a matter of time before all this shuts down. I think that's why, like, the time skips are happening. I think it's why we're jumping from like, the 50s to the 60s to the 70s, 80s, just jumping through all that so fast, because it's basically a different, like, it averages out. It's not really a 1-for-1, but it averages out to 1 decade every episode. So, yeah, Wanda's insanely powerful. Yeah, she can violate the laws of physics. So, I hope they go with Mephisto. She can't control them. Okay. Do you guys think, because I've seen this fan theory floating around, do you guys think that Evan Peters is actually Mephisto pretending to be Quicksilver? Do you think that's the case? Deadpool 3 is just Wade stealing money to pay Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine. I would watch that if Deadpool 3 was just a giant money heist. And then, like, you don't know why he's doing it, but then at the end, he just, like, goes to Hugh Jackman's house and drops all the money off and is like, is this enough to get you to come back and play Wolverine? And then it cuts to black. I would love that. I would love that. Ooh, we got a mixed crowd on this one. Wow, we got a mixed crowd on this one. People are saying no. So you do not think... You think director Raymond is Mephisto? You do not think that any of these people, that you don't think that Evan Peters is Mephisto. Okay, then if one of the members in the cast was Mephisto, then who do you think it is? Yay, he read my comment. Well, that's the hope, is to read as many comments as I can. Matthew McConaughey as Mephisto? I'd love to see Matthew McConaughey as Mephisto. Yeah. He'd do like those Lincoln commercials. Just like riding around, like, when I'm not manipulating a demigod crazy woman into altering reality in a local town, I'm driving a Lincoln. Like, that's what I would love to see. I would love to see that. You think Ralph is Mephisto? Director? Jesus! Those answers came in. Ralph or Herb? I don't think it's Herb. Agnes, Dottie, or Ralph? Agnes, Dottie, or Ralph? The mailman. Quicksilver was brought in by Doctor Strange. How would he brought? Why would he be brought in by Doctor Strange? That'd be kind of wild. Um, See, I think Dottie is too easy of a choice to be Mephisto. Ralph makes sense. Ralph makes sense for a couple different reasons, right? So let's try to square this circle. What's another name for a marriage? Give me another name for a marriage, right? A marriage between two people is a what between two people? Do you think AIM will be involved with all the hexagons and the beekeeper? No, the beekeeper was an AIM soldier, or was a sword guy, a sword scientist, who basically went in there and then his suit was modified by the environment. So, um, Doctor Strange would know what's wrong. A union, exactly. So a marriage is synonymous with a union or a pact or something like that. Now, Agnes said that her marriage to, or her the anniversary of her marriage with Ralph is June 2nd. And somebody on Twitter pointed out at one point that June 2nd is when the Salem witch trials started, right? So here's my question. It may be that they're taking a totally different approach, because in Marvel Comics, Agnes, or Agatha Harkness, is thousands of years old, right? Like, I think it was something like she was old enough to remember when Atlantis was still like a place that hadn't sunk, right? So that means that she's as old, if not older, than the second celestial host, when the Celestials came back after modifying the genes of early man, which is something like 15 to 20,000 years ago. So she's at least that old. But let's say in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, she's not, right? Let's say she's a few hundred years old. She's old enough that she was maybe a younger woman in her 20s, like maybe the same age she is now that you see her in the show. She was that age during the Salem witch trials, right? And let's say, because somebody on Twitter pointed out that June 2nd in 1884, I think it is when the Salem witch trials happened. And so let's say that that's the case. Let's say that the Salem witch trials took place. And did I ever upload the audio for... I never uploaded that audio. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I need to upload the audio for Agent Venom. Agent Venom. I need to upload the audio for that. So let's say that Agnes was not a witch at the time that she was accused. But let's say that they assumed she was one, right? They accused her of being a witch. They were going to burn her at the stake, right? They were going to burn her and they were going to kill her. And in that moment, they say, okay, like she basically begs and says, I would do anything, or somebody please help me, or something like that. And say that like all time stops. 1692. Okay. Say that like all time stops, right? It all just stops. The fire stops. The people who were screaming and shouting, throwing things at her, they all freeze in place. Everything stops. And she doesn't know what's going on. Even the pain goes away, right? She doesn't know what's going on. Or maybe like her brain gets, or her essence gets yanked away, or something along those lines. I close my Twitter out. June is the 6th month of the year. I closed my Twitter, deactivated my Twitter for a while because people were getting silly on Twitter. So I got annoyed with it and deactivated it. I may reactivate it at some future point in time. But let's say, Matt, I didn't know Matt Pat had, like, I don't really watch theory videos. Like, I for real and for true, I don't really watch theory videos. Like, I don't really like watching theory videos because I don't want to run into that problem where people are like, you got that from such and such. And it's like, okay, like, I don't like watching theory videos. I like to come up with my own theories on this stuff, right? So let's say that Agatha Harkness was being burned at the stake, and let's say that she sold her soul to Mephisto, right? If she sold her soul to Mephisto, then that's their union, right? That's when she was inexorably bound to Mephisto. Now, let's say the price she pays is that she'll be eternally youthful. She'll never age. And so maybe like Ralph was her actual husband, but she'll never, she outlived her husband. Anybody she ever loved, she outlived, right? That's her torment. That's the price she pays for making a deal with Mephisto or something along those lines. Either that, or Mephisto really is Ralph, and the anniversary of their union, or when she made her pact with Mephisto, was on June 2nd, the day the Salem witch trial started, when she was going to be executed. And she basically made a deal with the devil in order to save her life. The question is, Um, oh, there's leaks of her getting burned at the stake. Okay. Um, but the question is like, how do you get from that point? Like, even if she was being burned at the stake, and even if she made a deal with the devil, what does Wanda have to do with it? Why would Mephisto want Wanda? Right? Why? Like, what's the point? What's the purpose of that? So, um, it's kind of weird. Don't forget about Sword. It could be a cosmic space threat instead of demonic. That's true, but Sword doesn't monitor space. That's one of the things they established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is that it is the sentient weapon observation and response department, not the sentient, not the sentient world observation and response department. So, um, oh, it's a flashback. Okay. But yeah, so Wanda is very OP, but her power, yeah, her power just allows her to warp reality. So you think she has a power stone? Because here's one thing to understand about the Infinity Stones. The Infinity Stones exist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. They exist, right? They haven't been wiped from existence. But you guys are aware of that, right? Like the Infinity Stones still exist in the MCU. But that's the issue, is right now, the only real credible evidence anybody has when they point to the theory of Mephisto is just that line, the devil's in the details. And she's like, that's not the only place he is. But like, that doesn't necessarily mean Mephisto. Like that one line is the only line of logic people have that it's Mephisto. So, yeah, I don't know. So, um, will there be a sentient world observation response department? I don't think there really will be. So, dude, that dog was suicidal as hell. That dog was absolutely suicidal as hell because the Infinity Stones were never destroyed, right? I mean, okay, so track the timeline here with Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, right? That Thanos got the Infinity Stones. He snapped his fingers, blinked out half the life in the universe. And so 5 years later, the Avengers go back in time, get the Infinity Stones from different locations in the timeline, and then come back to the present, and then undo everything Thanos did. And then Iron Man snaps, kills Thanos, destroys his armies, and then dies in the process, right? And so the Infinity Stones were taken by Captain America back to their proper place in the timeline. And so if Thanos, as he was killed in the present by Iron Man, was actually Thanos from the past who traveled to the present, then it means that Thanos was never there to capture the Infinity Stones in the timeline, because he wasn't at that point in time. He was not on Xandar taking the Power Stone. He was not at the Collector's base of operations in Nowhere taking the Reality Stone. He was in the events of Avengers Endgame. Right? And so because of that, the stones went back to where they were supposed to be, which means that at the point when he was supposed to take it from Xandar and take the Power Stone, they weren't there. Right? Like they weren't there. Like he wasn't there. So, yeah, Thanos said he reduced them to atoms, but that was at the beginning of the events of Infinity War. Or I'm sorry, of Endgame. So so yeah, it creates a whole different problem. But okay, I mean, even if they created a different timeline, right? Even if they created a different timeline, then it still exists, right? Like the Infinity Stones are still there, like they're still available for people to use. So Lagos is just a city in Nigeria. That's all that is, unless. Okay, so maybe it's the Days of Future Past effect, right? So, like in the original Days of Future Past event, I love figuring stuff like this out. In the original Days of Future Past comic book, Uncanny X-Men 141 and 142, with a little bit of lead up in 137 through 139 and 140, that Rachel Summers sent the mind of Kitty Pryde into the past to stop the assassination of Senator Robert Kelly, Charles Xavier, and Maura McTaggart, which she successfully did. But if she stopped the assassination from happening, which is what caused Days of Future Past, then how could Rachel Summers send the mind of Kitty Pryde? Okay, so yeah, I get what you guys are saying. So, okay, yeah. Okay, I get what you guys are saying. So you guys are saying there's timeline A and timeline B. Timeline A is everything that happened up to the events of Infinity War and Avengers Endgame until they went back in time. Timeline B is when they went back in time. So they're still living in Timeline A. But okay, yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I see what you guys are saying. I see what you guys are saying. So you think Evan is Nightmare? Evan Peters is back as Quicksilver. Yeah, it is really insane. I don't know if the Infinity Stones ever existed in the Fox universe. So, yeah. Kevin Feige said the Infinity Stones will no longer be a part of the story in the MCU. Wow. So we're never going to see him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's smart. It avoids the issue you run into with Infinity Stones in Marvel Comics, where they're like the immediate go-to for any time there's a crazy problem. So, Logos is a place where Wakanda accidentally kills those people in Captain America Civil War. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a city in Nigeria. It's where the fight between the Avengers and Crossbones happened. So, Evan Peters is perfect for Pietro with his charisma, snappy, fast wit comebacks, and power. This leading to Marvel's Wondagore for Multiverse. ATJ should be recast as Captain Britain. I mean, that would be kind of funny to see him just come back as Captain Britain, even though he's Eastern European. So here's my question. Would you guys prefer that Evan Peters stay in the MCU as Quicksilver instead of Aaron Taylor Johnson, whatever his name is? Would you guys prefer him or the old Quicksilver? If you want the new Quicksilver, say new. If you want the old Quicksilver, say old. I don't really trust leaks. I don't really trust the leaks. Because according to the leaks, by this point in the series, Wanda would be possessed by Mephisto and she'd be conquering the world. So I don't really trust the leaks that much. No. Yes. New. You have a feeling Wanda might be the next big bad in the MCU? I kind of hope she will be. I'm not even going to lie. I kind of hope that Wanda Maximoff is going to be the new villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I kind of hope that's going to be the case. I'm really hoping for that. Because I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be awesome, especially in the Multiverse of Madness. If the Multiverse of Madness is like a multiversal version of House of M, where she just loses her mind and she just snaps and just lets all this reality warping energy just loose across the multiverse, and everything just goes insane, and it's just Doctor Strange trying to get it all sorted out. But then the question becomes how do you end up invoking? How does Scarlet Witch become? I mean, we know she's going to be in it, but I guess we don't really know the extent to which she's going to be in it. At this point, we're just fan theorizing. So, Disney won't do Mephisto because of China censorship. Has Disney said they're not going to do Mephisto? Have they explicitly said that, or are people just assuming that they won't? So, when do the new episodes drop? The show comes out every Friday at midnight, I'm pretty sure, but I don't usually catch it until I get up in the morning. So, do you think she'll be Grey Bad? She'll be the Jolie Bendo of the Star Wars, or of the Marvel Comics universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Call Owen Reese. Yeah, he'd fix those problems in a. Owen Reese would snap his fingers and fix everything the Scarlet Witch did. How do you think they will do mutants in the MCU? Do you think they'll financially be able to get another X-Mansion? Do you think it will constantly be destroyed again? No, I think they're gonna handle them a lot more delicately than what we've seen them do in the Marvel Cinema in the Fox universe. I don't think they're gonna treat them as just kind of a thing that's there and just kind of throwing it around. I think they'll treat it with a lot more respect and a lot more care. I hope so. Anyway, so. Who would tell Wanda? Who would tell Wanda where is Vision? Someone might tell her if she brings his body, will help her bring him back. But when she brings them back, they put her into the tech. Oh, so bring Vision's body to me, and I will help you resurrect him. And then in turn, they just conquer. They take over her. I guess, but again, that's the biggest issue that I run into is what's the benefit of that? What's the benefit in all of that, right? How does it benefit them to do that? So, for what hero should Wanda be a villain for? That's the thing. Wanda's powerful enough; she could be a villain for the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? And that's the question: is how do you stop somebody on that level? I mean, here's the thing to understand: the original House of M event, it wasn't as though Wanda was defeated and somebody like the Molecule Man or something like that undid everything she did. She set it back herself. and just said no more mutants in the process. So it was her doing that set everything back to normal. Don't forget that. Like, she's the one that adjusted everything back. So, you know, nobody was really able to stop her. Only way to somehow control her. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can just grab one of those mutant inhibitor collars from X-Men in the animated series, just slap them on her neck, and just make her go work in Genosha by herself for till the day she dies. I have no idea. The Spanish Portuguese translation uses the female adjective for aerospace engineer for when Monica is talking. You think this could be Sue Storm? Well, that's the thing. Like aerospace engineer it's an asexual term, right? It doesn't really ascribe to any particular gender, or any particular sex rather. So it does not inherently mean a guy or a girl. It simply just is there, right? It just exists. So it can be assigned to either one. And my editor texted me. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't inherently lead towards one or another. It's not as though you know, like, Susan Storm is a genetic engineeress, right? You know, that's not really what it means, or an aerospace engineeress. It's not really what that is. There's no real you know, sex-based assignment to that particular word. So, do I expect to see Deadpool and WandaVision? No, I don't expect to see Deadpool and WandaVision. It'd be amazing if we did, but I don't expect to see Deadpool in WandaVision. Let's see. Doctor Strange will get wrecked against Wanda. I'm telling you, I think so too. Like, I really think he would. All right, guys, we're gonna do this for a couple more minutes, and then I'm gonna bounce off here. I do want to keep these live streams relatively short, about half an hour or so. I don't really want to go too long. But let's see. I think Wanda isn't the villain. I think the head of S.W.O.R.D. is the villain. What is the meaning of S.W.O.R.D. in WandaVision, and what could Vision be in the wrong hands as a sentient weapon? I guess so, but it doesn't really strike me as him being a villain, right? I mean, I think he's incompetent, but I don't really think he's a villain. I think he's kind of an idiot. You think Wanda brought Evan Peter from the Fox universe, multiverse? Yeah, I'm down with that. Like, I totally agree with that. I definitely think that's the case. Daryl's just spamming the hell out of the chat. Evan Peters is Mephisto. Looking at Evan Peters' other past characters, a lot of them are very charismatic and semi-goofy, but immensely evil and cold underneath it all. That's his character's bread and butter. I mean, I guess, but like, he seems like, I mean, he wasn't like that in Days of Future Past. It wasn't as though he was like just evil underneath, trying to kill the X-Men. Otherwise, he would have let them all die in the explosion in X-Men Apocalypse. Like, he would have showed up there and been like, "Oh, awesome, my work's cut out for me," and just stand there and watch while they all die, screaming and crying, you know. But they introduced Sentry to stop Wanda. I don't think that's gonna happen. Sparky's Mephisto. That'd be amazing if Sparky the dog turned out to be Mephisto. I mean, I wouldn't put it past that. In the original Sentry comic by Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee, the Void took on the form of a dog, right? So, like, demonic dogs, like, we've seen that before in comics. It's not outside the realm of possibility. How do I think Doctor Strange will win when he went against Thanos with multiple stones and she went against Thanos with 0? That's the question to ask, man. That's the question to ask. Because right now, by all standards of measurement, Wanda exceeds the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, right? Assuming that everything that you see going on there is actually her, she has the power to dominate the minds of others. She has the power to rewind time. She has the power to alter reality, to just make things change, to make things look different than they really are, to make things appear out of nowhere. She's a walking, talking Infinity Gauntlet, right? That's what she is. She's able to alter and control every facet of reality across the board. So that's really all that is. Like, and that's the thing. Like, you had Thanos with the Power Stone just demolishing Doctor Strange and everybody else, right? So what did the mailman mean? That nobody leaves the town unless Wanda lets them. I think that was just more of an offhanded remark illustrating the fact that Wanda doesn't let anybody leave unless she wants them to, right? They're all trapped there, basically. Do I think the MCU will use the same actress from Fox's Deadpool for the character of Negasonic? I don't think so. I don't think they'll do that. It'd be interesting if they did, but I don't really think they will. Okay, one more question, guys, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Let's see. All right, if you guys have questions, spam your questions in the chat. And then I will ask you guys this final question. Do you guys like WandaVision so far? If you had to give WandaVision a number rating, what would you give it? 1 through 5. What number would you give it? There's going to be that one person who's trolling and they're just going to put like a 1 or something like that. But, let's see. Did Monica Rambeau text Blue Marvel? I don't think so, but I hope so. I would love it if she did. If she texted Adam Brashear and we're going to get Adam in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think it's more likely she texted Reed Richards. I think that's the most likely scenario. That she texted Reed Richards. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the case. And it'd definitely be cool if we got to see it. So, I would definitely be down for that. But, okay. Wow, every single number that somebody typed in is being hidden. Every single one. Okay, I may have just got my own stream demonetized when it uploads. YouTube automatically demonetizes live streams. I don't know why, but they automatically demonetize them. So it's probably because their algorithm and YouTube's lazy. So, okay. So instead of doing that, instead of doing the numbers, okay, cool. All the numbers are going through. I guess it ended up holding the numbers of people who were just spamming arbitrarily over the course of the stream. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of 4s, a lot of 5s. Somebody put an 8. You know, I don't know. We'll just break it down like a fraction. We'll divide it in half and call it a 4. So, but yeah, I see a lot of 4s and 5s, and that's cool because I love WandaVision as well. It's the most exciting thing I've seen on television in quite some time. It's a great show, and what I really love about it is the mystery, right? Solving the riddle of what's going on. Like that's the coolest part. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bounce off here. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey to watch WandaVision and talk about it and all that kind of cool stuff. We'll do this again next week. I don't think we're going to be able to do it next week. Myself and Mariah are heading out of town next week for Valentine's Day. We're actually heading down to Cincinnati. So we will not be able to do this next week. I'll actually be out of town. But yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. It was cool hanging out with you guys. And I will catch you all later. Peace. Maybe. Kind of. I'll have to go back to the control room and then turn off the stream. Okay, cool. I will catch you guys later. Peace.